Every single day we face this monster, an overwhelming flood of information. So today we're going to learn how to tame it. Let's get right into it.
We've all been there, right? You're trying to research something and bam, you're hit with this tidal wave of articles, papers, books. It's just impossible to read everything. So how in the world do you find what you actually need without getting completely swept away?
And believe it or not, this isn't some new problem. For decades, people have called it the wordage problem. As the mountain of published material just keeps growing, we've had to get way, way smarter about how we handle it. We just can't consume information the old-fashioned way anymore. We need a new strategy, a whole new set of tools.
And that, my friends, brings us to the hero of our story today, the document surrogate. This is our secret weapon in the fight for clarity, and, let's be honest, for our own sanity.
So what in the world is a surrogate? Well, think of it like a stand-in, a proxy. It's a representative for the full document. It gives you all the essential info you need to decide if the original is worth your precious time, all without having to read the entire thing.
You could almost think of them as these little personal assistants, sorting through all the noise so we can focus on what's actually important. In this crazy, information-rich world, surrogates are, without a doubt, our most essential allies.
Okay, now here's the thing. Not all surrogates are created equal. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and each one has a very specific job. So let's open up the toolkit and see exactly what we're working with. First up, we've got the annotation. Now, this is more than just a simple description. It's a short, sharp piece of commentary. It doesn't just tell you what a document is about, it often gives you a critical take on it, its quality, its scope, or how relevant it is. For instance, check this out. It doesn't just describe the guide, it evaluates it. See that last part? Compact and easy to use? That little bit of judgment is exactly what makes an annotation so darn useful for making a really quick decision. Next in our kit, we have the extract, and this one is all about authenticity. Instead of having someone else tell you about the document, an extract gives you the author's own words, literally lifted directly from a key section like the conclusion or the recommendations. But, there's always a trade-off. While an extract is super easy to create and gives you that high-fidelity info, it can also feel a little choppy. You're getting pieces of the original text, but without the smooth transitions that kind of glue them all together. All right, next up is the summary. This is a familiar friend, right? We see them all the time at the end of a long article. Its job is to objectively restate the main points and findings, just giving you a final recap of the core message. Yep, it's all about condensing the substance. There's no judgment, no direct quotes, just a clean, brief restatement of what the author actually presented. Simple as that. Now, a synopsis. It might sound like a summary, but it has a special talent for telling a story. It's the go-to surrogate for things that have a plot, like a novel, a play, or a film. It gives you the entire storyline from beginning to end. So here's the crucial point, and it's kind of funny. In the world of research, spoilers are a good thing. A synopsis gives away the entire argument on purpose. Why would it do that? Well, to save a scholar's most valuable resource, their time. You can instantly see if the work's entire logical journey is relevant to what you're doing. So, if you thought a summary was short, get ready for terse literature. This is the most extreme form of surrogate we have. We are talking about taking an entire document and boiling it down to a single, powerful, and often evaluative sentence. To get a feel for this, just think of those super condensed articles you find in publications like Reader's Digest. The whole goal is maximum information in minimum space. It is literally the espresso shot of the surrogate world. And finally, we have the digest. A digest's job is to take complex, specialized information and completely repackage it. Its main goal is to translate all that jargon-filled research into plain language so that a much broader audience can actually understand it. A good digest really acts as a bridge. It connects experts with the public, and it helps build understanding across completely different fields. In a way, it democratizes knowledge, making science and scholarship accessible to absolutely everyone. Okay, whoa, that was a lot of tools. So how do you know which one to use and when? Let's put them all side by side for a really clear comparison. As you can see right here, each tool really has a specific job. If you need a quick, subjective opinion, you're going to want an annotation. If you need the author's exact words, you'd grab an extract. And if you need to explain complex science to a non-scientist, the digest is your absolute best friend. Just take a second to see how each one fits a really unique role.
So, we've seen the what and we've seen the how. But let's end this by focusing on the why. Why are these tools so absolutely essential in the world we live in today?
The bottom line is this: surrogates are the vital connective tissue of our information age. They don't just save us time, they actively shape how we find knowledge. They make our searches better, they help us stay current in our fields, and ultimately they are the elegant solution to that drowning in information problem we talked about at the very beginning. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future. I mean, we all know AI is getting incredibly good at summarizing text. So what happens next? Does the human touch, that evaluative wisdom in an annotation, or the careful translation in a digest, does that become even more valuable? Or does the whole game change completely? It's definitely something to think about. If you found this explainer helpful, inspiring, entertaining, and informative, please share, like, and subscribe. Be sure to watch for the next upload. Thank you so much for watching.